Hello everyone, this is a resettable 16 village iron farm designed for Minecraft Java Edition 1.12. The farm produces 640 iron per hour and rebuilds itself in 24 minutes. Like all resettable iron farms, it does not have to be built in the spawn chunks. As long as everything is built correctly, you can let the farm rebuild itself at the push of a button. The layout of the farm is mostly flat and straight, so it's easy to build in survival as well. No need to make giant towers shooting into the sky. The farm doesn't use any slime blocks or sticky pistons, and is light on iron and redstone as well, so it's ideal for casual players. Instead of sticky pistons, I used water to control the sky axis. I'd like to specially thank Will Kreppelin for compacting the sky axis control. He's been kind enough to check the farm for console as well. Once he finishes his testing and posts the results, I'll pin his comments so it's easier to find it. Before I start the tutorial, I want to make one thing clear. If your game is modded in any way, I cannot guarantee this farm will work. This includes bucket or spigot as well. There's too many differences from vanilla, so you would have to make a custom fix that works for your specific case. So if you decide to build this on a modded game, do so at your own risk and know that you are on your own. With that out of the way, let's start the tutorial. You can find the list of resources you'll need in the description. The farm is direction dependent, so I've marked out which way is north over there. Keep this in mind as you follow along. Start with a 21 by 21 platform and build up the walls too high for now. This will be the spawning floor later on. Next, we're going to mark out the door platforms on the east and west side. Find the third block from the edge and bridge out 14 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The 14th block is the corner of the door platform, so I'll mark it with a different block. The size of the door platform is 7 by 17, and the other corner should also line up with the third block from the spawning floor on the opposite end. Do the same thing on the east side of the spawning floor with the same distance. I will speed this part up and be right back. Now we'll finish up the rest of the spawning floor. Build up the walls 5 more blocks and add the second floor 5 blocks above the bottom floor. There should be a gap of 4 blocks in between the floors, giving the golems enough space to spawn in. To use as reference later on, I will mark the center with a different block. I recommend not putting in the water until the end so it's easier to move around while building. You can see I've marked out a plus shape on the door platforms we built earlier. It goes through the exact middle and shows where you should not place doors. It's not required to mark it, but recommended in order to minimize mistakes. So now you're going to place the doors. The direction is in regards to where the door is facing when it's in the closed state. You can place it facing east or west, but not in the north and south direction. Once you have the doors in place, it should look like this. Now, add a second floor directly above the doors you just placed, but this time leave out the middle, like so. And then take this all the way down. Once you're done, it should look like this. I've also copied the markings from the bottom floor because you're also not going to place doors there either. Then, place torches in the gaps here to prevent mob spawning in the door platforms. Then, place the next layer of doors just like in the bottom floor. Place another layer of blocks above your door for the roof. In the row where you didn't place any doors, use glass. and then go out by 5 additional blocks on either side, like so. So after that, just take this all the way down, repeat it all the way, and it should look like this. Now you will mirror this on the other side as well. Come to the west door platform. One block above and to the front of this glass strip, you're going to start placing some pistons that will control the sky access for the doors. Place one glass, 7 pistons, another glass, then 8 pistons. Then you're going to place glass like this that will contain the water inside. The first village is gained for free, so that's why there's no piston here for the first set of doors. Next, place water in the middle and on the edge of the side that has 8 pistons, right here. If you've built this all correctly, the water should be spreading directly in front of the pistons, covering up the glass row below. Then, place blocks behind the pistons like this with redstone dust on top. In the middle, connect the two sides exactly as I do it here, with the comparator pointing left. On the right side, place a comparator pointing into the redstone line like this, and a comparator facing the other way next to that dust, and place the dust right here. Put both of these on subtraction mode. Then, place 2 droppers facing into each other like this, and fill the right dropper with items stackable up to 64. Fill it completely. And then, place a block here with a redstone torch on top. So it should look like this. Both comparators, subtraction mode, with this dust turned on. It's the exact same for the east door platform, just rotated 180 degrees. It should be point symmetrical around the spawning floors when you look at it from the top. Since we started from the north side earlier, we'll start from the south side this time. I'll speed this part up and be right back. Come to the spawning floors and go up by 5 blocks. From here, I'm going to place some more blocks to the south and east side so it creates a 2x2 here. On top of these 4 blocks, you're going to create a hopper loop going clockwise, like so. Towards the west, place a block with a comparator pointing out of it, into a block, into a repeater, into a block, and then dust. For the next hopper, place blocks, comparator, piston monostable with sand, block, repeater, block, and then dust. Then extend this line by 13 more blocks. It should line up with the middle of the door platform. The easiest way to count 13 blocks is to just power this block right here, then place dust all the way down until it runs out of power level. It should end at the edge of the door platform's roof, right here. You can remove the lever afterwards. Add a repeater at the end of that line that goes into a block and a torch on top. Then take this line all the way down by about 60 blocks. Basically what you have to do is lay down redstone dust all the way down until it runs out of the power level. And when that happens, place a block into a repeater, into a block, and then carry on again. Do this for a total of 3 repeaters. When you do that, it should look like this. 3 repeaters, all powering the maximum distance that they can. Now just cap it off at the end with a block like this. Place a piston next to that block. Then place glass next to it. This is where your villager is going to go, so raise the walls a bit to contain the villager, get one inside, and then cap it off. Include a light source so mobs don't spawn on top of that piston head. You don't have to use glowstone, you could use torches as well. Then do the same next to the second repeater. So right here, that's the first, this is the second. Place a piston to the side of the block. Now when you do this, it has to be next to the block that is before the repeater, not the one after. Not here, it has to be here. And then, again, place glass around like so. Raise the walls. Get a villager inside. And then a light source. From the end of the line, go down by 5 blocks from the piston. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then go up by 14 more blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This 14th block is where you will place a door, facing east or west. And then place a block against it, and then add light source. And then you can get rid of this. Then go to the other villager and find the 7th dust after this repeater. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be at power level 9 when you check the F3 screen. So from there, go down by 4 blocks. Place a door. This time it has to be facing north or south. And then place a block. You can place it over here or you can place it here, but only on one of the sides. And then place a torch there. Then come to the first repeater and then place the block next to the second dust and then the 4th dust. And then it's the same thing again, down by 4 blocks with the door facing north or south. And then for this door over here, which is closer to the middle, add a door to the front and back. So it should look like this, 4 doors here. And then place a torch somewhere. And back to the door platform. So from this line, just before the torch, extend the line by 1 again, and then place a repeater to boost the signal strength, and then extend the line all the way out and over the edge by 1 block. Then staircase up by 2 blocks, extend the line until it connects to this dropper. Because we don't want the wires connecting, place a block there to cut the wires, and then place dust all the way here, and then a repeater on the second setting on top of the dropper. Now it's time to work on the east side. Come back to the center hopper loop. From the left hopper, place a block with a comparator reading out of it, into a block, into a repeater, and then into dust. And then from the right hopper, a comparator reading out of it through a block, into a piston monostable with sand, and then a repeater, and then dust. And then extend the line out by 30 more blocks, like you did on the other side. The easiest way to do it is to just place a lever right there, and then see how far the line goes before it runs out of power. So place dust all the way down, and it should run out right here at the edge of the door platform's roof, just like on the other side. Then remove the lever afterwards. Place a repeater at the end of the line, which goes into a block with a torch on top. This time, the line starts off by going 1 block to the left so that it's now aligned with the middle of the door platform. And then you just take this line all the way down like you did before. So place dust all the way down. And then here, when it runs out of power, place it into a block, into a repeater, into a block, and then you take the line down again. And then this time, when it runs out, just cap it off with a block, and then a piston. This is where your villager will go, so surround it with glass. Raise the walls, of course. Add a villager, and then a light source. Then, from the piston, go down by 5 blocks, and then out by 9 blocks. This 9th block is also part of the door platform, so I'll mark it with another block. And then from here, go up by 3 blocks on each side, and then also make this 2 blocks thick. So this should get you a 7 by 2 platform. And then place doors for the whole platform, and the door should be placed facing east or west. Then add a line of blocks at the back of the doors, and then add some torches here to prevent mob spawning. Then go back to the east door platform, and then again from this line before the torch, take it out by 1 more block into a repeater, extend the line 1 block past the edge of the door platform's roof, staircase up by 2 blocks, extend the line here so it connects to the droppers, cut off the wire here so it doesn't connect, and then add dust like this, and then repeater on the second setting on top of the dropper. It's exactly the same as the west side. Come back to the center to build the brain of the farm. From the north side, place a block next to the hopper on the left, and then 5 blocks out like this, and then create this shape. So what you should end up with is a small 6 by 2 platform over here that is 4 blocks away from the main hopper loop. Place a block in this corner with a redstone torch on the side of it, with a repeater on the default setting pointing out of it, into a dust, into 2 comparators in a row, into a block with a dust next to it, 2 comparators in a row facing the opposite direction, into a dust, and a repeater on a second setting pointing into this block. So this should create the main clock, which triggers once every 6.8 seconds. For now, just put a lever here and power the torch to stop it. Take an output from the torch pointing into a piston monostable with sand into a repeater on the second setting. Then place a torch here with a block on top. Next, place blocks on top of these hoppers and put redstone dust on top, and also place 2 more blocks like this. Place a dropper next to this block pointing outwards, with a hopper pointing back into it, and then take a comparator output from this dropper into a block. So this comparator should be able to power this piece of dust, and then also add a torch next to this block. And then add 11 items into the dropper. These items should be stackable up to 64. They can't stack to 16. And then place 1 item in the hopper loop below as well. Next is the reset circuit. Come to the north side again and place 6 blocks over here. Place another block in this corner to create a comparator fade-out circuit. So a comparator pointing into the block with a dust, and the comparator pointing out of it, 2 more dust. And then place a block here and a repeater so it turns off this redstone torch. Place a wooden button next to this block. It has to be a wooden button because you need the longer pulse length. Extend the line by 2 more blocks from the left, with dust on top and then a torch on the right. Then place 2 droppers facing into each other. The one on the left should be powered by the dust, and then the one on the right should be powered by this redstone torch. And then place a comparator here so it powers this redstone torch. Add an item in here, and now you can get rid of the lever here. From the fader, place a torch over here, add a block with the dust on top, and place an additional piece of sand over here. So while the piston below is extended, this line will power the hopper through the sand. place a block above the torch, and then 4 blocks like this, staircase down by 2 like this, and then place dust on top of it. And then place 2 droppers facing into each other. One of them gets powered by this line, and the other one gets powered by the torch we placed earlier. And then place one item in this dropper, and then take an output with a comparator and into a repeater like this. Then place a line of blocks to the right with redstone dust on top. When the signal runs out, place a repeater and then 1 dust out of that, and then start staircasing down from there towards the door platform's roof. And then place dust 3 blocks into it, and then from there take the line all the way down so that it powers this redstone torch from the x.xx circuit. Since the signal does not reach over there, you'll need to add a repeater somewhere in the middle. And back to the middle again. This time extend the line to the left until the signal runs out. And then add a repeater, dust, 2 dust, and then staircase downwards, and then power that redstone torch from the x.xx circuit. On the west side, place a torch after the repeater right here, and then a piston against that. And then create a tube like this, and then cap it off at this height. And then extend this all the way down until it is in line with the top of the spawning floor, so right here. And then just finish off the tube. Just make sure you leave this gap open here. At this point, put the villager inside the tube. It's easier if you do this now before you add the water. And then place some more blocks like this to contain the water, and then add water right there. It should flow into the tube and the villager should swim up. There should also be 1 block of air in there for the villager to breathe, like this. And then when the torch powers on, the water gets cut off and the villager goes down again. On the east side, place the torch before the repeater. And then it's pretty much the same thing. Place the piston, make the glass tube, cap it off, and then bring it all the way down until it's in line with the spawning floor right there. And then your villager in there. And then blocks to contain the water. And then finally add the water. And then next you want to go to the east platform right here, and then go to the x.xx line, and then from the 3rd dust at the end, staircase up by 2 blocks like this, and then place 2 dust. So when this piece of dust turns on, this one should also turn on at the same time. And then that goes into a block, into a repeater, into a block, and then extend the line all the way down. It should line up with this dropper, and when you place dust right here, this line should be just barely able to reach the dropper without needing any repeaters in between. If that doesn't line up correctly, then you've made a mistake somewhere. Now that all the redstone is in place, we just need to put 20 villagers to the side. Come to the spawning floor. It can either be on the north end or on the south end. And then at the side around the middle and in between the 2 spawning floors, you want to give yourself a 3x5 platform. And then raise the walls by 3 blocks. Use solid blocks here because you're going to place 2 ladders like that. You can use glass there. And then you want to place 2 pistons like this. Place a block there and also blocks there. So you should get this hole here where you can drop in villagers. So in there you want to place 20 villagers, and then just power the pistons so they get pushed into the ladder. So this is a trick found by Pi314, and it's basically stopping the entities from checking for collision. So this is lag friendlier, and it also bypasses max entity cramming. The final step is to finish up the spawning floors. So what you're going to do is add water along the edges, but you're not going to place any on these 3 blocks in the corner. And you should also get rid of this pillar in the middle. So I'll just place these blocks here for now. And then add water everywhere else. So what this should create is a 3x3 area where it's completely dry. Punch out those, and then also remove these blocks and then add 1 water, 1 higher in the corner. Do this for each corner. And then you're going to repeat this for the bottom floor. I'll speed this part up and be right back. And then come down by a couple of blocks. And then give yourself a bit of a platform. And then wall it off. Add water along the back. And then use glass panes to stop the water. And then add sign right there. Shift click to place sign against sign. And then also cap it off here. And then place the lava in there. So that will kill the golems, and any items will be dropped in through here. So you can just collect it right here. You could use water streams or hoppers, it's really up to you at this point. The reason why I'm not dropping golems directly into lava is because when they're dropped from above, they have a small chance to float, which would cause items to get destroyed by lava. By doing it this way, there is no item loss. So that's it, you've completed the farm. Press this button to start the rebuild process. Your first golem should start spawning in about 6 minutes, with the rate slowly increasing until it reaches the full potential after 24 minutes. If you decide to move this button elsewhere, just make sure this piece of dust gets power to the maximum signal strength. So here's something you could do, a repeater pointing into it, and then your button elsewhere. Just make sure this dust gets power to the full signal strength. And then one last note, if you build this farm in a biome that has thunderstorms, add a 7x7 roof on top of all your villagers to protect them from lightning. Do this about 5 blocks above the villagers. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below. You can also send world downloads if your build isn't working and I can take a look. In the description, you can find the download link to the spreadsheet for checking door distances. You have the input line on the left and you have the output on the right. In the input, only use coordinate for one door. It can be any of the doors specified in the sheet, but use only one. Once you put in a number, the output will give you the coordinates for all the other ones. The first one is Satellite 1. It is the door furthest away in the west direction. I wrote this on the sheet as well, but I'll mention it here again. The Y coordinate is for the bottom half of the door. When you look at the door, an extra line of coordinates will show up, giving you the block coordinate of what you're looking at. The next one is Satellite 2, and it is the one slightly closer to the middle. Satellite 3 refers to these 4 doors. You will notice it has 4 lines in the sheet. The first line is for this door. The second line is for this door, which is on the north side. The third line is for the middle door, and finally, the fourth line is the door more on the south end. The door wings refer to the central door platforms, so this one on the west side and that one over there on the east side. The lower x and z coordinate refers to the northwest corner on the bottom layer, so that would be this door right here. The higher x and z coordinate refers to the south and east corner on the top layer, so it will be this door. It's the same for door platforms, so on the east wing, the lower coordinate would refer to this door, and the higher coordinate would refer to this door. Satellite 4 is pretty similar. The lower x and z coordinate would refer to this door, which is on the northwest corner. The higher coordinate would refer to this door, which is on the southeast corner. For this demo, I'll input the coordinate of the west door platform, specifically the lower coordinate. So for that, we'll first need to find the block coordinate for that door, right here. Next, put in each of the coordinate into the correct cell and the spreadsheet will return the output. So x was 70, y was 30, and z was 92. So on the right, you get your output. So now, we just need to check the position of other doors using the output from this sheet. For satellite 1, it said the door should be at -6, 35, and 100, which it is. And then for satellite 2, the door should be at 36, 35, 100. Then satellite 3 at 57, 35, 100, and then 59, 35, 99, 59, 35, 100, 59, 35, and 101. And then the next one would be the door platform here at 70, 30, 92. Of course, that's the one we inputted. And then the next one would be in this corner, 76, 33, 108. Also correct. And then for the east door wing, we have 124, 30, and 92. And then 130, 33, 108. For satellite 4, we have 164, 35, 97. And on this corner, 165, 35, and 103. To end the video, let's look at the farm do the full rebuild. Thanks for watching, everyone!